Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Science from the Diaspora Seminar Series. This is episode 3 of this series. And this is a series that is being driven by the Training and Education Working Group. And the aim of the series is to bring people from the diaspora, or people who are passionate about talking to the diaspora, to come and give us information either about their research or about an area of expertise. Episode, we've got Dr. Samira Benadda, who's a core imaging facility manager at the Institute of Biology at Ecole Normale Supérieure Paris, IBENS, and is part of France BioImaging. Samira is really passionate about ensuring that we're able to establish and manage core facility in Africa, and so she's the perfect person to tell us about how to do that and everything that we need to do to know in establishing a core facility. And so without further ado, Samira.
Hi everyone. So I'm Samira Benadda. I am not sure that I am the good person, the expert for that, but I will try just to do an introduction about establish managing imaging core facility. And I think it's an introduction to have some tools, some idea, and maybe the next week we can talk more about this in the meeting. So the first question, I think, is to know what is a core facility for you. So the core facility is the facility, resource, and related service that are used by the scientist community to conduct top-level research in the respective field and covers major scientific equipment or set of instruments. So it means that when you want to do a core facility, you have to have centralized and shared equipment, dedicated experts, dedicated space, and it is for multidisciplinary science. So this is an example of core facility. So there is not also core facility for imaging. You have to know that in an institute, you have core facility for animals, for genomic, proteomic, flow cytometry, biochemistry, also for data management, but all the core facility have to interact together. And this interaction together is this for work to the team research, okay? So a core imaging facility, why you need a core facility imaging? This is because the process of a research project has several steps, and it's difficult for a research team to respond to them alone. The core facility will support all the steps. It means that for example, advice for the biologic question, after from the sample preparation, for the imaging and the analysis. Why? Because when you have a research process, a scientific question, you need maybe different kind of sample, organ or organism or tissue cells. And for that, you need also different kinds of multitude of technical. For example, confocal for cells and tissue, lighted for organs, multiphoton for organ, for animals, also for molecule you can see with SMLM, and also for electronic microscopy. So it's for that it's very important to have an imaging core facility in institute. So this is some idea for me to know what are the role of a core facility. I think people that working on a core facility know that when you are in a core facility, you have like a multitasking. Okay, you have to provide advice for using which kind of microscope you need to respond at your biologic question. You have to do training on the instrument. You have to do a formation in image analysis. You have some time when the user are autonomous to supervise them. You have to do also maintenance, setting up of meteorological checks to be sure that your microscope are good and performance, but you are also administration, funding, billing. Also, I think I rank them in the order of the importance, but everything is important. And also, when you can, it's important to propose research and development in your core facility to be innovative and competitive with the other center. And also, it's important to do education, for example, for science fair or school. I know the two things, it's a bit difficult when you are working alone on a core facility. But if you can have time, it's very important. I will show you some example after. So how to manage a core imaging facility? So to manage imaging facility, you need human resource. So it means that what kind of expertise you need. The best of the best, but it's not the reality. For example, in my core facility, for example, we are just boss, 2 people. But the better is to have a multidisciplinarity is the best. Now, we have also, so it's very important for the staff recruitment to have multidisciplinarity, like a biologist, a physics, a bioinformatics, mathematics, and analysis image to answer to all the different states I showed you before. For example, in our core facility, me, I am a biologist, and my colleague Fatima, she is a physics, and we have also a great person, Walter, is development optic. So it's very great if we can perform more, but now we need funding to have a mathematician and analysis image. It's difficult. And after, you have to organize their work, schedules, and the distribution of tasks according to their expertise, and space collaboration, because it's very important to be a collaboration. For example, one biologist can bring a lot of things to physician and to mathematics, and also invert. It's very important. And it's important to create a positive culture for learning, because microscopy, a technique evolve very quickly. Look, it's very important to push your recruitment, your staff to do learning and formation to perform in the core facility. Also, how to manage, you need administration management. Okay. Maybe I think about some things, but maybe I can't put all the things, because I am working in a working group of organization of core facility, but I can't put all the things, okay? So I just put the principal things. So you need also to create an internal regulation with a charter. It's very important to have a regulation. When your user come in your core facility, you have to do some regulation to be sure they are using after your core facility very good. I think for us, for example, in Europe, we have to set up a financial contribution. But I know that for Africa, we are promoting an open access, like in Cape Town, in AMI Center, they can do open access. For us, it's a bit difficult because we are not, we don't have a funding. We need some contribution to do the maintenance of the microscope. So I think this point is very, very dependent of the possibility of the institute. But for me, I think it's very important to promote for open access for Africa, because there is a lot of funding is very difficult. You have also a booking tools that is very important for your core facility. For example, Open Iris, it's a tools very easier and very important. For example, here we put our light sheet microscope, and after you can do your booking and your reservation. So you just you do the training, and after you give the access to your user, and it can book alone his microscope. So normally we accept it can do alone is reservation for 6 hours per week, and if you need more, we can open the access, but it depends of the user of this microscope, because the goal is to share this microscope with all the institute. So to give time for all people in the institute. Also, for the administration management, it's very important is the data management, sphere data. So in my institute, for the moment, we didn't deploy these tools, but we are going to do, okay? It's, for example, Homero, I think maybe people here heard about this. It's a tool that is international, and you can put these tools, and there is the standard requirement of data management, and you can share directly with your account, your image with your team, and you can put your image in the cloud and with all the institutes. So it provides also the security of your tools, because it's not good to save your tools just in the USB key or an external disk. So this is very important. And in the last GBI in Okazaki, it was just about data management. And I think this question is very important. And we have to convince our institute, because sometimes the informatics core facility, for us, it's a bit hard because it needs some work, but if we work together, we can convince him to install this kind of tools. So some idea, so is that I think how to set up. So I think, for example, if you don't have any core facility in your institute, you have to take stock and to do collecting user requirements. So you can't manage and set up a core facility alone. You can't think alone. You have to think like a community, like an institute, like collaboration with you and the teams. It's not possible to do alone. So the first time is, for example, collecting user requirements, because you can't buy all the microscope. You need to know which kind of microscope you need, which kind of topic, because, for example, people who work on organ or on cells, they don't need the same microscope. So maybe if you can buy just one microscope, you have to choose the best for your institute, not the best on the market, okay, on the founder, on the provider. So you can do quiz, what is they're needing. You can also, it's very important to create a user committee. Create a user committee is very important for example, a member of one of your team research. And like that, you can do a meeting every 3 months or 6 months to know what they want, if they are satisfied. You can do a user satisfaction, okay? The more important to set up a core facility is to mobilizing and convincing researcher, okay? Because you can't do alone. A core facility is to provide a service for the community researcher. It's not for us, okay? So I just want to show you an example of what I did before, okay? Because now I am working on the Institute of Biology, but before I arrived here since the last January this year. And before I was in another core facility between 15 years, okay? So when I start in this core facility, I was alone, and there was just one confocal. It was in 2007. And I don't know how can I do, because I was just in my room alone with a confocal. So I start what I say before. I create like a dynamic with a creation of a committee, a user committee, okay? I did some user satisfaction, and like that. Also, I tried and I succeed to acquire several equipment. So how I did, I just, for example, each equipment, I didn't buy this equipment alone. For each equipment, I did a project, but in this project, I think there is 10 projects for 10 teams to convince the director, to convince the founder, to get also funding, for example, for the region, national, and we bought step by step different equipment. And at the end, we succeed to have for the white field, for membrane, for organ, to clarify, and for a high resolution, and at the end for the light sheet, for organ. And also, we bought analysis software. And at the end, we managed to offer a platform, and it's very important to know the need of the team, okay? Because all this equipment after, I share it and I centralize on the core facility. And it was very good after to, and because you know there is a problem issue for the maintenance, but when I centralize all this, teams can participate of the maintenance and share the cost, okay? Another example, I think, for a core facility is very, I think for a core facility to convince teams, research, you have not just to propose equipment, but maybe if you can propose more. For example, you can also try to propose development and adjustment to offer innovative solutions to respond to projects and to be competitive. It can depend of your specialty. For example, me, I am a biologist, so I just propose solution in sample preparation. If you are optic, you can propose solution to improve the different microscope, to adapt of the different sample, for example. So in our core facility, for example, me, I am going to propose solution in sample preparation, but my colleague Fatima, she is going to propose to adapt microscope, to do in 3D, to print in optic. Okay, it's a very good complementation. But now I am just, it's very impactful for your core facility. Now I just show you development that I did before in my core facility to answer to the researcher. So for example, here, there is a researcher of our institute during many years. He wants to answer his biology question and he can't do it. So I propose him to do the clearing method. So this method, it's not very difficult, but he didn't have time to do it. So I propose him to do a collaboration, and me, I did all the tests for him. So, and when I did the test at the end, and when I find, for example, here, I try different, I just present you two kind of clarification. It's a kidneys with glycerol, and after it was the clarity. And after I go in another institute, because in this years, I didn't have the light sheet. And I did all the acquisition for him and the analysis. And he was very happy because with all my proposition and all I set up, I tried to show that his protein here in green, she's localized in the glomeruli. And it was the first time he can see this. And you know, after this, he supports me to buy a light sheet for the core facility. Because for that, it's very important to involve yourself in the development for the user imaging. Because when you collaborate just with one team, you know that after it will be for all the team in your institute. So it was for the teams for immunology. So I did another, so after another team told me to do the same things for another organ, so it was lymph node. So I did it, and I performed all the tests, and I succeed to see in 3D the different zone of lymphocyte T, B, and here the different cells. And it was just in the confocal. But you know, the two examples after support me to buy a light sheet microscope. We can do for example, I just show you, it was another collaboration with Barbara Institute in Cambridge. It was in neurology, but with another kind of microscope. It was with multiphoton. You want to see the interaction between the microglia and the lymphocyte T in brain slice. So he never did any brain slice cells. So I manage it. I take times. So I did all the slicing brain and all the culture. And after, at the end, I proposed him my method to imaging. It was my first image to see that I set up all the culture to see the movement and of live cell brains in microglia in live cell brain. So this example is just to show you that co-facility is very good, but we can't do more than just propose service to use microscope, because I think even for you working in a co-facility after, it will be very annoying to just set up the microscope. So it's very important to have after, if you can, a project to develop tools for the community of researchers. So an important place also for co-facility in our mission is the transmission of knowledge. So you are in your institute, so you manage the co-facility, you train, you advise for the co-facility, for the researcher. You did your research and development, but at the end, you have to do an important thing is that transmission of knowledge. You have to participate, for example, for scientific mediation. So here, for example, in France, you have the science fair. It's just an example. So we organize this year's science fair about bees and microscopy. And it was very great because we do a sensibilization about microscopy in, for example, environment and ecology. So it was very good to sensibilize, and it is very important and impactful for your co-facility. You can also participate, for example, here in France, we have an international school, thematic Mifobio. Donc, for example, last year, I did a workshop about expansion microscopy in lymph nodes. So I present my development. And I think it's very good because in this kind of workshop, you can say, yes, it's good or it's not good what I did alone in my co-facility, because you don't know if it's useful or not. And when you participate in this kind of workshop, I saw the reaction of people. Wow, it's very great. So now you can say, okay, it's good. So I did something for the community. It's very helpful. So it's very good to participate. And also, it's very important to do supervised students internship. For example, you can also just take student internship to develop the research and development in your co-facility. For example, me, when I developed the clearing and the first experiment of expansion microscopy, I was alone and I didn't have time. So I took an internship master during 2 months or 6 months, and he helped me to do my research and development, because I know that internship, it costs. So for example, in France, when we take an internship master for 2 months, we don't have to pay him, but more than 2 months, we have to pay him. So when we don't have enough money, I can take a master for 2 months, and it's very, very helpful. I did it, and it was very helpful. So why all the things you have to, I think this this, I think it's very important, and it is contribute to do a valorization of your core facility, you know, because more you do a valorization of your core facility, more maybe it will be easier to get funding. Okay, so now I'm not strong about this, but I just start with social media. I just realized that it's very important to and impactful to do social media in the core facility. So you can do, for example, Twitter for core facility. But I promote for that, I advocate, but I'm not good for that. But I think it's very important. I just promote in LinkedIn, but you have also Twitter. Maybe it can be important. It's very important to develop your networking. Me, I was alone in the core facility before, and I succeed in my core facility, I think, because I involve a lot in the networking. For example, in France, we have a national networking about microscopy. So at the beginning, I did a lot of formation on confocal microscopy or light sheet proposed by this networking. And now I am really involved on the committee steering in this networking. I am in charge of the budget and I propose some formation. So and it's very important for the valorization of your core facility. More you are involved, more you will get funding, more visibility. It's very important also to do seminar for your own formation, because as I said before, it's very important to know the different evolution of our field of microscopy. Also, you can propose workshop. So you can also do formation, but you can also propose workshop. Like, for example, IME Center propose a lot of workshop, and it's not necessarily workshop of, I realized that sometimes we did a workshop about specific technique, but sometimes you can just propose workshop about very basic microscopy photonic. And sometimes some users, they don't know to do the color, to do just white field. So it's very important. You can propose this. Okay, so now I think I have to, I talk about good things, and now you know that there is ongoing struggling things. So and maybe after you can tell me if you have this kind of struggles or not. I think it's the aging equipment, because when we bought an equipment, after maybe 10 years, we have aging equipment, and we don't have maintenance about this. So we have to find solution about it. Sometimes, for example, here we have equipment that they are aging, and we can't use them. So we are also thinking about it, and also wondering how we can do to use this equipment. And so I think it's an issue for all the core facility. Another, I think, issue for the core facility, but I think now is going to change, because with global bioimaging now, it's the recognition of our work. Because before it was very difficult to have the core facility in the publication authorship or acknowledgement. But now I think more people they are going to recognize, because we are going to, now they present a new kind of I think new kind of work, because when you are in a core facility, you are not researcher, and you are not, I think, engineer. You are on boss at the middle. And now I am very happy, because I discovered in the global bioimaging that they put a name in our work, that is imaging scientist. So now maybe after we are going to recognize as imaging scientists, and there is a great community is growing in global bioimaging of imaging scientists, and they publish a lot of paper about how to set up a core facility, what is the work of an imaging facility. Because sometimes there is a lot of frustration because you are a PhD, but you are not a researcher and you don't know why. Now we are all an imaging scientist, PhD or not, so it's very great. I think another thing is the recruitment of staff. So the staffing level. Because, for example, me in my core facility, I am a permanent position, but Fatima Melouki is working with me. She is not a permanent position. So we are struggling to have a permanent staff position. I think it's very important because we have to convince our director and direction and funding that our work is in the core facility need expertise. And we can't, for example, employ someone for just 1 year and after is going and another, because it takes time. We can't do a turnover like that. We have to advocate for that. And another, I think it's the strengthening institutional aid. So is that I talk about this. So you have to do training every time, every years in your core facility. It's very, very important. And also, I struggle with the data management because now I am trying to convince the core facility informatics, but now I think it's okay because it need work for them. But if we convince that we can work together to have a data management to save the data, it's very great for all for everyone of us. So the impact of the core facility. So there is a great work about Claire Brown from Canada and Catherine Lejeune in Canada. She's working in the working group. So now I am involved in this working group about the impact of core facility. So if you go to the GBI website, you can see now they are going to publish about this, that we have to be convinced that we, as a core facility, we have a great impact because we are disciplinarity. Okay, we can, for example, do core facility like you see. I don't know if you are here in the instance, if you are all microscopists, but as I show you before, core facility imaging can answer that for physics, for biology, for neurology, for immunology, for chemistry. But core facility is also important for all the other fields like genomic, proteomic, and tout ce que I have shown you before. Why a core facility? You have many teams can use one equipment. So this mutualization and share equipment is very, very important because now to have a great equipment is not less than I think 200,000 euros to have a wide field or 400,000 euros to have, for example, a comfort cab. So there is some teams, for example, they get funding, special funding, and like 1 million euro, and they bought this kind of equipment. But I think for me it's not fair because the other teams can't buy this kind of microscope, and I think we have to advocate to this kind of teams to put their equipment in our core facility to share the equipment. And when we share the equipment, we share the cost of the maintenance also, we can. And when we share the equipment, funding is better because it's more impactful because now we share the equipment and the staff because the staff of the core facility can maintain the equipment. And we can advocate for the funding that, yes, I want this this microcode, but no, there is no problem because there is a staff, expertise staff, imaging scientists that they are going to keep safe this kind of equipment if there is an issue. Because if you let this equipment in one team, I remember I talked with Basma from CARE, and she told me that yes, also I have an equipment, but it is in my team, and it didn't work, this equipment. So how can I do? So it's for that. If we are with, if it's shared, maybe we can find issue more solution for this issue. Okay. So now it's my conclusion. So for Africa, in Africa, so I'm not an expert for Africa. I just put that I start to several years. I want to work with Algeria because I am from Algeria, and I did my PhD with a colleague from Abidjan. So in the past, I give him a video microscope because here we didn't need this. So I gave him this video microscope, and he used it in Abidjan in his lab. So it was very great for him. So it's for that with Dr. Adiko, I realized that there is a real issue in Africa. Before I didn't realize it, that yes, microscopy is not spread in Africa. So it's for that I think it was the beginning of my involvement for imaging and Africa, you know. And I am from Algeria, so I started to find people who work in microscopy, and I was very surprised because there is nobody. As you can see here as you can see here in the map, there is nobody in Algeria, in Tunisia. There is some people in Morocco. Okay, so now I think it's our role to help, not to do what they have to do, but just to share our experience. And because for us, I think in Europe it's very more easier for us to set up a core facility. Because I think it's very important to do this and to interest for imaging in Africa. So I visit Cape Town with Karen Jacob in July in the AMI Center, and I was very happy to see how they set up a core facility with international funding. And I think it was the beginning, and we have to do the same for all the parts of the continent. It's just I want to do. But so we can't do that alone. So I think here there is I don't know if you receive this survey. No, it's just some proposition. I don't have the solution. Okay, it's just my experiments, and I have to learn a lot with you. And so I tried to share this survey. It's a survey from African BioImaging Consortium. So there is a working group. If you want, you can involve in this working group. So it's to aim to better understand the landscape of microscopy and infrastructure expertise across Africa. Please, if you want, I can put the link in the chat after my presentation. We have the meetings the next week, and we have till 30 November to fill this survey. Maybe after we continue, but we want to have the map, the better representation of the map the next week. So me and Basma, we just try to spread the survey for North Africa, and there is other people for the other part of Africa. So please, I will put it in the chat and spread and fill. If you just if you use microscopy, not just a lot of it's not necessarily, for example, for a specific microscopy, but you can if you use just wide field microscope, if you need microscope, if you know people with core facility or not, if they have microscope in their team and they struggle, I don't know, we can fill the form. It's just 5 minutes of your time. Okay, so perspective in Africa, I don't know. I have some idea to share with you, and you have to give me your feeling about this. So I think it's very necessary to advocate for co-imaging facility, to define the needing, to convince team and involve them. Okay, it's very important to convince team research, as I talked before, and involve them in this perspective. To find donator and funder. I think if there is a great dynamic of this, we can convince donator and funder, like, for example, they establish the core facility in the AMI Center in the Cape Town. And we have to do a partnering with university and industry. It's very important, for example, to apply for an international call. For example, now I am going to apply for the global imaging for all. The end is it's the 13th November, so I am going to apply with Dr. Abidjan, Dr. Césaire Adiko from Abidjan, and another team in Algeria. But now it's too late. But normally the next year they are going to do another call. So don't hesitate to see the website of Global BioImaging. I will put in the chat after. It's very important because there is all the information about the different call, and you have all the information. You can apply with this, with an hosting core facility, but in over the world, okay? With all the core facility that are part on the global bioimaging. At the moment, there is also a call on the CNRS in France, CNRS Afrique, to host people from Africa. I can also share you the link, okay? And I think also it was maybe important to see call for equipment, for example, or not. Maybe it didn't. I think we don't have this kind of call, but ABIC community did a call like peer, but I think it's instrument with DICE, okay? But maybe, for example, me, I am in an institute with physician, and they know very good microscope, and maybe they can be okay to set up and repair some equipment and send, I don't know, but maybe we can think about this kind of equipment, because there is a lot of microscopes. They are just sleeping in our lab over the world. Okay, the perspective also is maybe to do more network, more workshop, and organize more workshop in and training to transfer knowledge in Africa. We are thinking about this in France BioImaging. Maybe we to just come maybe in Senegal, maybe to do 4 days of training about microscopy. But now we are looking for funding, but it could be impactful. And I think the more important is to do a development of networking. So I think in France, for example, our experience that this is the national network that give us a power in the community of imaging scientists. So I think you have really, you need to build the national network for each country. But I know that it's difficult, but I think it's very important to do for national network for each country, and after to do a regional, for example, network, North Africa, West, East, I don't know, because it's very South, sorry, I did a mistake, East, South, yes. Because if each country can just put together it's drawing a lot. And I think for that, this kind of survey is very important because you can know who in your country and the continent is interesting about microscopy. Okay, so I finish. So thank you for your attention. So now it's your turn. So you can share your idea, proposition, and question, and you have my contact here. And you can contact me by email or LinkedIn as you want. And okay, so thank you for your attention. I hope my presentation will be helpful for you. Okay, so I will.
Thank you, Samira. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I think we do have, please, everyone, that if you have a question, please feel free to post it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and you can ask it out loud to Samira directly. I think there was a question from Emmanuel here who's asking, do you know of any good paper on how to start an imaging facility in low-income countries?
Sorry, there is a question. Sorry, it kept. Do you know any good paper?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now there is I will put it. So this is the work of there is a special journal of microscopy in July, and there is a lot of paper about how to set up core facility. For example, to do the infrastructure, to set up the local, and also for the management, all the things. Okay, I will put in the chat. Okay, you know about this, Precious, or not? About this special? Do you hear about this special? Do you hear about this special journal of microscopy?
No, I actually have not heard
No?
about it.
Okay.
Please share the link. That'll be important to share.
Okay, so I will share. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
good.
I feel. But unfortunately, I don't see Burkina on your map. So maybe we will see with John Woodland. If you just fill up, I think it will appear after the 30 November.
Thank you. Thank you, Samira. I see Basma had her hand up as well. Basma, do you still have a question?
I will look about. Yes, Basma, I didn't hear you.
Hello, now, do you hear me? Thank you, Samira, for your presentation. Do you hear me, yeah?
Yes, I hear you.
Actually, my question is regarding May, you know, if you have a core facility, but you are struggling with some maintenance, and if you can guide for, is there a call for specifically to help who's have a core facility to maintain their microscopy? Actually, we got help, but remotely from Nikon France. But then they need to visit, and that costs a lot of money.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, there is no call about this. I think we have the same issue. I don't know about call. For example, for us in France, we did. I talked about this at the beginning. There is a cost for the user to use the core facility, so it's helped us to pay the maintenance and when we want to buy something. So, but there is no specific call about this. The call we applied usually is, for example, for specific thematic, and or for example, there is call to buy great equipment, but not for the maintenance. I don't know. There is not. We ask about this. We talk about this in our institute and the different funder. But there is, for the moment, there is no answer about this.
No. And if you can tell us more about the call for imaging for all. Yeah, I think it's gonna be helpful.
Yes, imaging for all now. I think it's too late for this session because it's finished on this Saturday. but they propose 3 core. So they propose the access track, the pro track, and the training. It means that, for example, if you want to do a project researcher, they can give you 10,000, I think, euro, and you have to just to find an hosting a core facility accept in the list that accept to receive you, to host you. Okay, and this is for 2 weeks. Okay, and they pay the accommodation, they pay the fly, and they pay the consumable and the access of the core facility. There is also the pro track. The pro track is more for the imaging scientists. For example, now I am doing an access track with the Dr. Adiko because he is a scientific researcher. I think he is online, and a pro track for another that they are working on the core facility, because we can't do a pro track if you are not involved in the core facility. If you are involved in the core facility, you can do a pro track, because now the goal is different. You come to learn about management. You come about technical, about all the things. And I think now it's 20,000 euros. And the other track, I don't remember the name, but it's just, I think it's just training. I think it's 5,000 euros, is to fund if you want to do a workshop or something, a training online. Maybe now it's too late to apply for fund pro track and access track, because you have to do to fill all the project. But maybe for the training, maybe you can try. But no worries, there will be another imaging for all. They tell me that there will be another in next year. And Gleb is online, so if he wants, he can maybe just hi Gleb. He can just in the chat maybe just put if there will be another call.
Thank you, Samira, so much.
Okay, sorry, I'm just looking. You can ask a question. I'm just looking about, because it's very important, the link for the Journal of Microscopy. So I get it.
While you're looking, Samira, we do have a comment from Emmanuel here, who said, I stay a lot of months in Uganda, and I've seen a very nice bioinformatics research center in collaboration between NIH and Uganda Makerere University. I think the only way, or the best way, to build a very good bioimaging facility in Africa at the moment is through partnership with big international universities or centers such as NIH. Do you have any comment on that, Samira?
Sorry, sorry, who talks? Sorry, because sometimes it's cut when you talk, so I didn't hear all the information.
It was Precious who was speaking, and I was just directing you to a comment that's in the chat box right now from Emmanuel, who's mentioning that he thinks that the only and best way to build a good bioimaging facility in Africa is through partnership with big universities or centers such as NIH.
Yes, I think. But I don't know if I don't know if it's just the only way. We can maybe also maybe step by step. For example, me now, I'm very happy because I find Dr. Adiko. He wants to do a collaboration with me in Abidjan. And I think step by step, maybe in several years, we can do more. So I think also with the different schools, for example, now I'm going to apply for researchers in Constantine. I think it's a step. So yes, it's sure that we have to have a big international if you want to have a good core facility, but before we have to advocate for that. And for that, it's very necessary to do a networking and to show them that Africa needs core facility. because they know core facility. For example, in the GBI, I met an engineer from core facility from Nigeria, and he did a job shadowing in Janelia. You can also, for example, Janelia in USA paid for job shadowing to train you. So now I think it's very good because you have to do also, I think big international is not sufficient. The community is have to train, to do networking, to show that they can be a strong things, because you can do a strong things, I think.
Yes, sorry, it's Emmanuel here. Thank you for your reply. I also think advocacy and projects like that are useful to show the needs. I did also a very simple Fiji bioimage analysis course in this university here in Uganda. I honestly think microscopes are very expensive, and cell culture facility are very expensive, and sample preparation facilities are very expensive. It will, like those projects are very useful for advocacy, but they always go to, let's say, go to Janelia, send someone to Janelia. It's to send someone to Karolinska Institute, to send someone to, I don't know, MBL. And then not really bringing something. I mean, it's bringing back because you train someone, but then when he comes back, if he has, it's impossible for him. And also, I really appreciate the other African bioimaging community project, the sharing of the microscopes, because another big problem that maybe we know, but I'm not sure, but I heard a lot of stories about instruments that, I don't know, in Europe cost 50,000 euros. To bring to Africa, they cost 300 euros, 300,000 euros, because we know everybody, middlemen. We don't have to be to either ourselves, to like everyone wants some money, and then the microscope, when the instruments, when you reach Africa, for some reason it costs 4-5 times more. So it's really important to have this in consideration. But for sure, advocacy and show that the needs is nice.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I think it's very expensive. It's for that there is no call about, for example, if someone a lot of microscopes sleeping on our institute in Europe, or maybe we can do a call about this to get funding to because you are right, to send is very difficult, so, and very expensive. But I think we need this kind of call because yes, we have. I don't have the solution. It's just the idea and proposition.
Yeah, thank you. But I honestly think the things are moving because a lot of initiatives are going on. So in some years, I think we will have something nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for that. I see, Ame, you've got your hands up. You may
there is someone told me that if it's open here is free. Donc I think there is some paper they are open and others no. Donc if you have a way to send Precious, I can send you all the paper and you can maybe spread of the community, because
please do.
Yeah.
Yes, please do. I'll add all the links that we shared in the chat, or will be also added to the description of the YouTube.
Okay, so I will send you all the paper, because I have all the paper. I can send you and you can spread on the community here, because there is someone we have to pay.
Will do. Ame, I don't know if you still have a question to ask. I see your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you, Precious. Do you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, hi everyone. It was a great pleasure to attend this session with Samira. I think in few days we will meet in Grand Bassam. So, this presentation was very helpful to me, because that way she showed how she acquired all of her equipment year after year. Is very helpful. I'm on that way. I'm trying to find the opportunities to increase my facility. So discussing with you, Samira, in few days will be very helpful to me. The second thing I'm interested in is that researcher, Ivorian researcher you are talking about, Dr. Adiko, if I well notice his name. I think we could all discuss together and see how best we can improve our local community and activities. So, by the way, Samira, I have a quick question.
I just do something. So it's for that. I think it's very important to fill the the survey and to know the network, because Professor Adiko, when I talk about you, he didn't know that there is a co-facility, electronic co-facility. And me, I know you about the ABIC community. But you know, if you can have link, you can improve and grow in Abidjan.
Sure. I think we can extend, if is located in Abidjan, we can extend an invitation to him so that we can all meet in Grand Bassam. I'm talking under the control of Precious. We can see if we can have something to top up our budget for the lunch and welcome maybe Prof. Adiko. But I have a quick question for you, Samira. One of the objectives my director gave me is to be like autonomous in few years. So how best do you think that I can achieve that objective when you see how we struggle in Africa to get funds or to compete in projects?
Autonomous, autonomous in your budget.
Sorry?
You have to be autonomous with your budget.
Yeah, and run my facility.
To run your facility, to pay the maintenance, all the things.
Exactly.
Yes, it's very okay. It's a difficult. I think it's very difficult. We can here in Europe, in France, we are autonomous because the user pay cost for the core facility. If they don't pay cost for example, they pay, for example, per one person is using a confocal is going to pay 15 € per hours. For the white field is going to pay 7 € for hours. And like that, we have a budget and we can pay the different things. But it depends. I think this is a great question for the next week, because how you can do autonomous if people, because in Africa it's different, people that didn't have funding in their team. Here, each team research have a budget for 1 year. So it's more easier for them to pay a cost to use the microscope. But I don't know if in Abidjan it's the same or not. If they don't have any, they can have, but I don't know. I don't know if it's different or not. If they have the any way you have, the only way is to your user to pay to access in your core facility.
Okay. Thank you for this first answer, because here we have both kind of population, both kind of users. Some are in research centers. They compete on projects, so they have budget from their projects. So we can add them to pay for fees, lab fees, and to access the equipments. But most of the users are coming from the public universities, and for them it is not that easier. When you tell them that you need to pay maybe $40 per hour to access the equipment, they think that it is too higher because they have to pay from their own pocket. So this is one of the things we will discuss in the upcoming days. So thank you for this, and I can testify about the job shadowing that I was one of the beneficiaries of that. That opportunity from GBI, and hi to Gleb.
Okay. Hey. Thank you so much for this lively discussion. I wish we had more time, but we are 5 minutes past the hour. Thank you so much, Samira, for your time, for this brilliant presentation. I hope there's more opportunities for us to come together as a community and discuss these pertinent issues. For those who would to attend the virtual sessions of the ABIC community meeting next week, I will put an email in the chat box now. Please send an email to that email address so that we can make sure we get the Zoom link to you guys. This conversation will continue at the community meeting during one of our panel discussions and during Samira's presentation. This recording will also be made available on the ABIC YouTube page by the 11th of December. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. And also sign up to our mailing list through the ABIC, sign up for the ABIC newsletter through our mailing list, and follow our various social media accounts so that we can keep you up to date with other webinars similar to these, funding opportunities like I4A, and any other information that is pertinent to the community. And with that, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Bye. See you.
Bye.